thinking, and all of that. An educated mind, right, would be able to, I'm looking for a word now, will be able to transform his or her life by putting their educated minds to what they are doing. Now, this is not to say education is like the one-way ticket to, making it in life. It means if you are an educated person, educated true and true, you will be able to incorporate your education into the skills that you're looking out for, that you're learning, which brings us to the soft skills that I mentioned. An educated person, a genuinely educated person, would know how to communicate. And if you do not know how to communicate, teamwork will always be a problem. I've had interviews where we asked candidates that what are your soft skills, and they go, oh, I like to talk to people, I can communicate, I am good at working with people, I'm good at um adapting. And most times the adaptability is not just the right side. You just want to adapt to everything and anything. So someone who is educated will be able to know, oh, me adapting to a situation like this, in the long run, will it be good for my career or not? And then if you have hard skills without soft skills, right, you're going to actually face a lot of problems in the workplace, in any career. If you have hard skills without soft skills, right? I don't know how to put it now, but you cannot have one without having the other. The one you have would suffer. Do you get? It will suffer. You can be extremely good technically, but when you're unable to communicate with the people that you work with, whatever project you're working on will lag. It will drag behind. Now, I have people who say, "Oh, I like human resource management, and I really want to venture into it." Right? So you go and take courses on human resource management, to start applying for jobs, and you get stuff like that. But then you don't ask yourself, what skills do I really, really need to be able to survive in this job? And then there's one skill that we always underlook or underrate, and that's emotional intelligence. As a corp member, recent graduate, ex-corp member, whatever that you are, as long as you intend to work in the workplace, or you are currently working as you have a career that you are actively pursuing, you cannot downplay the role of emotional intelligence. You just cannot downplay it. So now I want everybody to think of it. Think of one job that you would like to have. Like, just think about it. You can drop that in the comment section of this call. Think of one job that you would genuinely like to have. And then while you're doing that, also think of top three skills that somebody that okay, to succeed in this job, I need to have these skills firstly. I need to have these skills firstly. Then think of the one that you currently have and the ones that you don't have at the moment, and start actively looking forward to getting those skills. Anybody that ventures into the marketing career, you should even know that one of the skills that you should have or learn is the ability to, how do I put it, sell without making it look like you're actually selling to people. Like the way you convince someone to get an item or buy a product, and they don't feel like, oh, this person is making me want to buy this thing. Genuinely feel like they genuinely feel like they need that product. That is the skill. And there is literally no hard skill that you learn that you do not have to learn, that you won't need to learn how to sell it. So same way for people who want to venture into the corporate world. As a corporate person, you should be able to sell your services. Take for example, as a human resource professional that I am, it goes beyond managing people in the organization, creating policies, documenting employee work cycle, and all of that, right? I have to be able to learn how to pitch. I had to learn how to pitch myself to my current organization and still remain there. Now, a lot of persons will say, or I know there will be questions amongst us about I really do not have experience. And I think I talked about it last week. I said there are certain things that you're actually doing where you've gotten the experience that is necessary. You just need to learn how to phrase the words, use keywords, and ensure that your CV is ATS friendly. I just said something. I said we need to learn how to phrase certain words and ensure that our CVs are ATS friendly. Should be told, many organizations, right? Many organizations do not, and I mean, do not. The HRs won't scan the CVs themselves. They just upload it to a software that does all the scanning and all of that, and then voila, the results are out. They handpick the candidates that meets the certain requirements that they set. There's something we call conditional formatting data analysis, where you formatted, like, let's say for example, if you scored 50 to 65, right? The Excel sheet, the cell should show color green. If you score 40 to 45, the cell should show color red or color yellow. So if you score lesser than that, the cell should show color red. So there is a way in which they've programmed those software to ensure that there are certain words that if the ATS machine does not find on your CV, you won't be getting that job, no matter how equipped or how you're the best fit for the job. Now, your CV, in fact, the major job, or like one of the major jobs that your CV has, is to make sure the recruiter keeps reading. And then when I say to make sure that the recruiter keeps reading, it doesn't mean that I have to come and read the whole of your life story. No, that's not it. I do not want to. They genuinely do not want to see your life story, where you come from, your age, the number of children your mother has had, the number of miscarriages your family members have had, the number of, and all sorts of things that are not necessary. They do not want to see those things. In fact, your CV should not contain every job that you've worked in. Now, maybe with time, we would accept what we mean by CVs. We have different kinds of CVs. We have tailored CVs. There are CVs that should be tailored exactly to the job and the role that you're looking for, which is, for every job that you're applying for, ensure that your CV is tailored to it. Let it be tailored to it. Then if you find a way to now see, oh, I mean, I volunteered in a program in school, and I feel like the experience that I gained during this volunteering period is useful in this job that I am applying to, right? You can add it there. You don't send the same CV that you sent for the role of a sales and marketing job. You send that same CV to the roles of a finance job. No. You read the job description. There was something one of my friends used to do before we left school. So she had started applying for jobs way before I even thought of doing so. Right. I used to feel like I didn't have the experience and nobody would want to. What do I even put on my CV and all of that? So what she does is she would take the job description that was posted of that job, right? She would upload a CV to. She was using ChatGPT. She will upload a CV and upload the job description, and then ask it to compare with a CV. Ask ChatGPT to do a comparison between a CV and the job description that she just posted, she attached, so that it can compare and then give her the things that are missing there. So when she has the things that are missing there, if there are short courses that she can quickly go and learn, she would apply for the job and start taking those courses immediately, even when she didn't have the experience, right? Even when she didn't have the experience. And then when you see a job description that says we are looking for, let me look for an example now, right? So they've given the job description, the role and everything, and they say someone who knows how to use certain software. And then in the whole CV that you submitted, that software was not mentioned at all. It's like people who apply for um uh oh my god, I think, is it cashiers or those people that work in the bank, you definitely have to always type, right? You are working on Excel, and then you submit your CV. Your recruiter cannot find anything that pertains to Excel, not even among the tools that you can use. So, firstly, I should be able to keep on reading your CV because I'm intrigued. Wow, oh, this person can actually do this, and this is what the person has achieved doing this under this organization, right? And then, okay, it's clean. I can see impact in what you've done. And please, 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 even if you use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI that you use to write your CV, always proofread it. I had someone who submitted a CV the exact way it came from ChatGPT. I'm not joking. She even printed after sending it as a soft copy. She reached out. She did what every serious person looking for a job does most times. Where after you submitted your CV and resume and all of that cover letter, then she reached out again to say, "Oh, I've actually submitted my CV to you. This is the role I'm applying for and everything." But then, when I eventually opened the CV to check through, it was just there. Those lines that ChatGPT used to have, that when you create like a Word document, those lines there that it gives number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, and all of that. It was there. She just added her details and then she left it like that. She didn't remove the asterisks that were there. It was very much obvious that she just gave ChatGPT her details and then told it to give it back to her as a Word document, and boom, she submitted. Please proofread it. Yes, a small mistake that you add, they might not automatically disqualify you, because when we got through, I kind of understood. So I just, after the interview and everything, she had they had we had actually given her the job and all of that. So I called her to the corner and I told her, look, these are the mistakes that I saw on your CV. Right? I don't expect you to work with this organization for the next 30 years. I'm not expecting you to spend the rest of your life there. But if you are looking forward to applying to other places, these are certain mistakes that you should not make on your CV. So before you even apply for your next job, ask yourself, and I used to do it. After writing my CVs, I've proofread, I will now ask myself that if I'm the person that wants to give me, if I'm the person that wants to give myself this job now, from this CV, will this person genuinely even want to interview me? Like, would this person want to even interview me? Talking of giving me the job, right? So that's one of the things that we should always look out for. And then secondly, or next rather, let me not say secondly, right? Interview. Many of us, our CVs, we've been able to, walk through it and it worked. You've been invited for the interview. Now what? What next? My dad will always say, as a young person, always ask what next. Don't just send your CV and you relax. Start preparing for the interview. Whether you are expecting them to call you or not, prepare for it. And then, an interview is not an interrogation, it is actually a conversation. And I do that whenever I have to interview somebody. I'll tell the person from the start, after I've called you in, I've introduced myself to you, and you've introduced yourself. I'll tell you to pause and tell you, look, this is not an interrogation. This is just a conversation between you and possibly myself or the panel of interviewers. We want to see if you like this match that we want to make, because interviews are like matchmaking. We are matchmaking to see if you'll be perfect for this organization and for this job. And please, to everybody that undergoes an interview, you should interview the organization too. Interview the organization too. But before I move to that aspect, there's something that I've learned and I kind of recommend to persons, right? There's a method that we use: situation, task, action, and results. Now, they'll ask you, After during the interview, you'll be asked, tell me a time you solved a difficult problem, or how have you handled a difficult situation or a scenario. Give us a scenario. Don't just say I'm a problem solver. Eh, I was able to calm the situation down. Mm-mm. I want to know what happened. What did you do? In fact, what happened? What you were responsible for? What was your role in that situation? What did you now do? And what happened afterwards? Like I said, you have to tell me what happened. What was your role? That's the task that you have in that situation. What you now did and what happened afterwards. So when you are answering the interview questions, I'm not asking about what your entire team did. Mm-mm. I'm asking about the problem you saw. If that question is thrown to you, it is about what you as a person did. And then you don't have to now be explaining what your entire team did. And Mr. Bisola is the. Mm-mm. We want to know what you've done. So there was a joke that was we made in the office a few days back, and we were laughing about certain stories. The lady was interviewed. I just remember it out of the blues, and we talked about it. And in fact, if not because she didn't meet a certain requirement that um the person who wanted to employ her, because we actually interviewed her for someone, wanted to employ her, I bet have gotten her. In fact, she had gotten the job. So good because she explained this whole
Hello, can anyone hear me? Is it network problem? Is it network? I guess so, because I didn't hear anything since I just joined back again.
I guess our network is bad. Our location, I'm suspecting. I'm suspecting that the network in our location is a bit. I was enjoying the lecture.
I think she's back.
Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. I can hear you.
Okay, I think the call was going through, right? Because there was a point where I didn't hear any of that.
Yes, the call was still going through. Yes, maybe network at your end. Something happened.
Okay, but I hope we were able to hear me, right?
Yes, at least to the point where you said that the lady, you bet she would have gotten the work. That was where I head up to, and I didn't hear anything again.
Okay, because since I kept on talking and I was saying hello, but I really didn't see my screen anymore. But then to round up, like I was trying to say, so when you give them a problem that you solved, the time you worked in a team, the mistake and what you've learned, let them know that you're not perfect. You make mistakes. And then this is what you've learned that relates to the job that you're applying for. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be something that is outside the job. In fact, if it's something that is even outside the job, that can put them off. Ensure that whatever it is that you are talking about has to be something that is related to the job. And then tell them a time that you actually showed initiative. Little things. There are little things in the corporate world that a lot of us don't count. It might be reminding a colleague of something that would have put the organization into a lot of troubles. And the person will one day say, "Oh, thank God for so and so person that actually reminded me." It always sticks either to the director of the organization or to your line manager, that's your direct manager. Trust me, it will always stick. And then tell them an achievement that you are proud of over your, even if it's you worked for the last 3 months, tell them that in the last 3 months, let them know that this is what I'm proud of achieving. This is what I've achieved so far, and I'm proud of it. If you've been able, as a social media manager, you've been able to grow possibly an organization's social media page, you've grown it from 7 to 30 followers, right? In the span of 3 months, that's a lot of work. In case some people don't know, it is work. Let them know you are proud of what you've achieved and you know that you can achieve and do better. Now, another thing I would like to round up, which we can talk about this more, dwell on it some other times, is networking. You see, I used to be an introvert, like a terrible one. But from the moment I was about finishing school, I just told myself I cannot continue like this. If I My friends joke about it now that all through school it was church, school, house, church, school, house. I was the one amongst my friends who would have planned to, visit or go and do some things, or it wasn't really terrible things or bad things per se. We've planned it, we've talked about it. I'll be the one to find a way to, just look for one way to try and make sure that we don't go.
Miss
They
Harmony,
would
can
go
we
without
start
me.
wrapping up now? It's time already.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They will go without me, and then I can actually, I saw one of my friends CV, Ayomide's CV, and I was impressed because those events that I thought were not useful, there was no need for me to attend and all of that. She found a way to put them on her CV, and that got her first. Before we finished, she was amongst my friends. She was the person that got a job when we were writing our final exams. And today, I know where networking has put her through. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, I don't know, I think I've seen it on the platform. I saw it one time like that about networking and everything. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, please go and open one. Forget the fact that they say a lot of them are exaggerating and lying. You are not lying. You are not exaggerating. Your honesty on that platform can give you opportunities. I keep saying, in fact, even today when I checked, I still saw someone that got a job just by, posting what she has learned so far, posting what she knows, random things, and she just got a job. She came to celebrate it. So before we go, before we go, till when next I have to come on board and stuff, think of a particular job that you genuinely want. Firstly, you can write that down. Then, like I said, think of 3 skills that will make you succeed at that job, and ensure that if you don't have at least two, start learning them. If you already have to, learn the remaining one, right? Upgrade your CV. I have lots of CVs. I joke about it. Ensure that you have a CV for a particular job that you know you are currently doing. If you are the HR, the customer service, the what's it called, the business person, have a CV for each of those roles that you are doing. You never can tell when such opportunity would come up. Then lastly, please build a project. If you're a web designer, have one web design project that you consistently upgrade. If you're a data analyst, have Excel projects, SQL projects, Power BI projects that you are always doing. It can be one in every 2 months, one in a month, and start applying. Don't wait until you have gotten all the things ready. Don't wait until you've gotten everything set. Start applying. And even in this group, this community, genuinely network with others. When there are question and answers, please participate. It will go a long way, because I believe the admins would definitely see persons that have been consistent in following up with trends that happens on this community. And you never can tell where your opportunity will come out from. You never can tell. So with this, how did they say, with this few point of mine, I hope I've been able to give us skills that employers are looking for. And then, and I genuinely hope, at least, if not all of us, a lot of us will start taking these advices and start working on them now. The earlier, the better. Before you go, write down a target rule and write down the skills that you need to improve and start doing it little by little. Thank you very much for your time. I sincerely appreciate. Any questions, please? Okay, I think one of the admins has his hands raised. All
Thank
right,
you so
Mr.
much.
Matala, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We are really grateful. Thank you. That was really amazing. Me personally, I learned a lot from soft skills to technical skills. Thank you very, very much. I don't know. Can we
Thank
still take
you.
questions?
All right, I
Does anyone
can.
have
We can.
Does anyone have a question?
I think there's a hand up.
Okay,
Joseph
Joseph.
Divine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So my question, although it's a bit weird and it's funny to ask this kind of question now, but yeah, it's better I ask it so I know now. Please, what is the role of the HRO officer? Like, who is the HR in the company and what is his or her role? I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Okay, okay. So the question is, what's the role of a HR? Who is a HR? Now,
Yes.
let me explain. I really do not want to give a definitive answer because I feel like it's actually beyond the definition. So let me explain. You have an organization, or you yourself, you open a company, and then you employ people. You have your sales
Mm-hmm.
rep, you have your customer service, you have, let's say it's okay, let's say it's a bank, you open a bank, right? Excuse me. You have the customer service, the cashiers, people that disburse those monies. You have the security officials, you have the account managers, account officers, you have a lot of persons in your organization. Now, the HR stands as an intermediary. There are different definitions of an HR, but the one I like to use more is the voice of the staffs and the voice of the management. Now, the management will make decisions based on the business, the way the business is, the way you are running the business. That's the way the management will want to make their decisions, right? But we have staffs, people who are working there. If management goes ahead with every decision that they want to take, they won't have employees because certain decisions would in fact it will affect and seriously affect the employees in the organization. So an HR is a person, a human resource person who knows how to convert the human resources, which where I mean people who are working there, convert their time, their energy, their capacity to the advantage of the business. That's the human resource is the person who is able to utilize the people in the organization to ensure that the business moves smoothly. Now, HR has gone beyond the person that every when an employee cannot find something in the organization, you go and meet HR. When this one cannot do this one, you go and meet HR. Somebody stepped on your feet, you went to meet HR. HR has now gone beyond that. We have strategic HR, which every organization should be vying towards at the moment, because a strategic HR would be able to ensure that the business decisions that are made in the organization helps the organization to move from where they are to a bigger space, or a bit or a bigger place rather. That is, if for example we start with 10 staff in this month of August, with a human resource professional, before you even start with the 10, you should be able to sit down and talk about the kind of business that you want to run. What are the resources that we need at the moment? That's the role now. The resources that we need at the moment. Why should we be employing so and so persons at the moment? When you start your business, you don't just start today You don't open a company today, and let's say, like I said, like a bank now, you open a company today, you now have that same day that you open it, you're already opening two branches at the same time. No, you have to start with the first branch. Now you're going to employ a cashier, you are going to employ at least two customer service, you need to employ a security guard, then you need to have a manager that is actually going to, head the team of persons that are working with you. Now, it is the HR role to look at it and say, oh, for now, oh, this is what we need and this is what we don't need. I think if we do this way, it will go like this. If we don't do it like this is going to be the reaction. And mind you, not every advice or encouragement from the HR gets taken in an organization, which is one of the reasons why initially I felt like HRs were like the most hated persons in the company, right? Because it always feels like they are doing the work, they are just working for the business. Whatever concerns the people there, they don't want to have a part to it, as long as it's business they are settling. And then that's on the other side. HRs are persons that does recruitment, selection, onboarding, employee management. They are the ones who create policies and ensure that the organization meets the compliance rules. So I don't know if you've ever worked in a place where you see certain people just come, like some people come from the government. They don't come and meet you as a staff. They have to go through the HR. In certain companies, if you come to the organization, you, after going through the customer service, the next person, or sorry, the front desk, the next person you are meeting is the HR, even before you meet the branch manager, right? HRs are those that ensure that every staff in the organizations knows what they are supposed to do and do it at the right time. Then HR are also people who talks about salary administration, compensation, they track your leave, they work with finance on payroll, they maintain employee database, they're the ones that are tracking your attendance. If you come late today, it's the job of the HR to be able to report that. If you have to take a leave, the job of the HR to report that. And then employee exits. When a staff has to resign or when a staff has to be laid off, it is the job of the HR to go through that. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Is Mr.
Okay,
Joseph
thank
still
you,
on the
ma.
call, please?
Hope she has answered your question. Um,
Yes, she has answered it. My phone was right. Sorry.
okay. Is there anyone else with question? Okay. I think that we don't have any more questions. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Amoni, for this powerful session. Mr. Kingsley, do you have anything to say?
No, kindly go ahead. Kindly go ahead.
Okay, sir. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to be having another session next week, Thursday, same time, same venue. Thank you. Have a wonderful night rest.